that. Just maybe like a brief introduction. TRAJECTS is a global center from the DID with like a lot of different activities, and one activity is providing scholarships, junior and research scholarships to facilitate North-South exchange, but also South-South exchange. And at this session, like the aim is to give you like a background, how to apply, what is important, and also like the steps afterwards. So the presentation will be quite short, but afterwards we will have an extensive time for Q&A for questions that you have or that came up during the presentation, or that maybe some of the questions are also clarified based on the presentation. So yeah, without further ado, I jump into the presentation. Yeah, my name is Alexandra, and we have Grace here, both from TRAJECTS, and I think one other colleague will join. So full force on answering all your questions, hopefully. So I would share my screen and do the presentation. I guess we can like collect all the questions afterwards. Okay, can you see my screen? Yes, nice. Okay, yeah, let's start with the presentation on the junior and senior research days for 2025. So I guess you all have been to the website, you see the placements, and so you're interested in applying. So we wanted to start with like showing the difference between the junior and the senior research days, because there's like a difference. It's mostly on a professional level. So the junior research days, they aim to support young researchers or practitioners with at least a degree relevant in one of the TRAJECTS topics. I will come to the TRAJECTS topics later on. And this year we have around 18 junior research days that will be supported. And in contrast, the senior research days, they aim more to support advanced PhD or postdoc researchers with a minimum of a master's degree, but also post-level researchers, which means like overall over 6 years of relevant experience in one of the TRAJECTS topics. And this year we will have around 7 senior research days in 2024, and the research days will be for like around 3 months in one of the institutions of the TRAJECTS network. So I already kind of teased the TRAJECTS topics. The main objective is climate change mitigation, so all of this relevant to this topics, and the main research topics are fossil fuel phase out and changes in land management and ecosystem protection. So all the placement that you saw will be are also in this kind of area. So fossil fuel phase out or changes in land management and ecosystem protection, and your background should be also some kind related to it. But these are more like broad topics. I think it is quite easy to find a relation to one of these topics. If you want to know, like this is now the 3rd year, I think, to have, or 2nd year to have kind of research day. So we have gathered some kind of experience which we collected in like posters or some reports. So you can also find them if you want to know what others did, how they experienced the research day, or also of course you can also always connect with them via email. So I think the most important thing is how will this whole thing work out, and we propose like 3 different phases, which you see here for this whole process of the stay. The first one is more the application and selection phase. Then we have the whole implementation, preparation of stay phase, and the last one is the bureaucracy, more like financial closure and academic reporting. So for this session, the first one will be like the most important part. It starts with your application and the calls that we did, the placements, and then there will be like a selection process from the TRAJECTS team. Some of us are here now, but also from the host institution. And depending on the placement, there will be an interview or there will be no interview. That depends on the placement or the call. And after that, this whole formalization will take part. You get a grant agreement, so you can do all the formal requirements for the stay. The next phase, the one in orange, is more about preparation, going to or traveling to the host institution and then actually be there, which means we need to prepare the travel and the stay, the travel to the host country and then be there actually and do what you want to do, or what you coordinate with the host institution afterwards, which will be most likely in December. There will be like a financial close on academic reporting period, which you don't need to worry now, but just to let you know what will happen. And now one of the most important things, we wanted to give you like a step-by-step overview on how you apply. You find also all the steps on the website, which this is a screenshot from the website. So if you have problems afterwards, you can go through this presentation. So first, I think you all been there, otherwise you won't be here probably. You go to the TRAJECTS website, you click on the calls and opportunities to find more information on both the junior and senior research days. In this website, you will find the call for application separately from junior and for junior research days, depending on what you're interested on your level. You click on either of them, and there at the bottom of the page, you find all the very important documents, which we kind of would like you to read carefully, because there's a lot of information on it which are important. It gives you information, first of all, on the placements, but also on the requirements, on the selection process, etc. So the second one, I think you all saw it probably, is like the list of placements. It's like a long list of all the placements, junior or researchers, and there's a link which like guides, which derives you to the respective placement. And the other documents are, as I said, give you a lot of information. What are the required documents? How's the selection process? Which documents you need, etc. And the last one is, if you did all the documents, if you're ready to apply, you can just click on the apply button. It's at the top of the website, and then you applied and you will hear from us. As I said, there are like a couple of documents which we need you to apply with, which you need you to fill out. There are some difference between junior and senior research days. So for the junior research days, we need the online form in the TRAJECTS website. We need a CV. Depending on the host institution, it needs to be in different languages. We need a copy of the diploma and the motivation letter, and this is also depending on the host institution, probably either English or Spanish mostly. And this is also if it's written in the placement, or if it is otherwise applicable, you need a copy of the affiliation to the TRAJECTS network, a self-declaration that you're a member of an underrepresented group. You can find all these information also in the documents at the bottom of the page. And also, if applicable, like other requested, sometimes you need a language skills certificate or something else. You can find this most likely in the placements. For the senior research day, it's almost the same, just you need some additional information on it. You still need the online form. You need a CV, where you can prove that you have academic qualifications, also in the language that is required. Here you also need the description of the research project. This should be maximum 5 pages, and a letter of acceptance from the host institution, which you can also find in the documents, which means that you have to be in contact before that with the host institution, and the, if applicable, ones are the same as for the junior research days. So very interesting, obviously, the financing part. So we wanted to provide a brief overview of the scope of funding. I will repeat myself, but as said before, you can also find this on the website if you want to check it again. The scope of funding differs between junior and senior research days. For the junior ones, the monthly allowance differ between 500 to 1,027 euros, depending where you're staying. For the Global North, it's 1,027, and for South Africa, it's 750, and for other states in the Global South, it's 500. For this, we considering the different amounts you have to pay for accommodation, etc. Just to be clear why there's a difference between the sums. And for the senior research states, it's a bit more, and it also depends on the level of the qualification and the years of experience. For the Global South, it's 1,100. For states in the Global North, if you don't have a PhD, it's 1,200. And if you have a PhD, so you are equivalent to postdoc level, it's 1,600. Other scopes of funding includes the travel cost. The refund of travel costs is up to 1,500 for the one trip. As we know that trips between Latin America and South Africa tend to be a bit more expensive. Here, the reimbursement can be up to 2,000 euros for every. To get reimbursement, we need like documents with every reimbursement that shows that you actually took this flight, and maybe quite obviously we can only reimburse economy class, and you can't combine it with private travel. If you have like questions about that, you can also contact us at the respective time, and the insurance contributions up to 53 euros. And I think what's also important is that we can only reimburse physical stays, so no virtual periods are fundable at the host institutions. Other requirements for traveling to the host country, which we wanted to point out, is obviously need some kind of visa residence permit. With this, TRAJECTS cannot provide a lot migratory advice, and so the scholar is responsible for contact and obtaining the visa. We do this because every case is very special, depending on the nationality, which country you're going to, the duration, etc. Insurance, as I said, for everything that you book, we need some invoice and payment certificates to reimburse them later. This is important to know before you book things, that you need an invoice or other payment certificates. And finding accommodation, I think we all have been there. It's kind of sometimes it is a struggle to find accommodation. So we advise you to take a bit of time to do it, to contact the host institution, ask for advice or guidance, or ask other TRAJECTS scholarship how they did it. That could be always helpful. I think that it is. I hope it was kind of understandable. As I said, we will now have a Q&A session, so you can post any questions you have. If you have any questions, you can always contact the person on the placement if you have any specific questions regarding the stay, or you can contact any other person that is written here for the respective hubs. There are three main hubs, one in Latin America, one in Africa, and one in is the European hub. So yeah, with this, I close the presentation, and we can go to the Q&A session. I don't know, Grace, how you want to do it. You can raise your hand, maybe, as we're not that many people. Ask any question that you have if something was not clear, if I spoke too fast, not clear enough. Everything's fine. Yes. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is, do you choose which country you want to go to, or you are then choosing? Like, do you choose?
Yes. Thank you for your question. Maybe I should have made it more clear. There are on the website, you find different placements. So you apply for a specific placement, specific host institution where you want to go. And then the selection committees on this host institution. Does this answer your question, or do you want us to show it?
Maybe you can just show it. It would interest me also, just to have a look. Because actually, I thought that just one of the university needs to be a TRAJECT partner, and the other university, either the hosting one or the one that the people come from, doesn't need to be one. Is that right?
Most of all of the placements that you will find in our webpage are from our partner institutions. Ideally, you will come from another partner institution. but it's not mandatory. That's why it says if
Yeah, okay.
possible, showing that is part of the network, like the institution you are coming from, but you are going to a partner institution.
Okay. It's not necessary that I come from a partner university, but I have to go to one partner.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
And the way to know this is here. I don't know if you can see my screen. This is the call for senior, but it works the same for the juniors. You just check here in the
Okay.
list and check the document. And here in the document, you will see all the institutions and the country. And you have to apply for one of those. So
Okay.
you choose, you are the one who choose where you're going depending on the topic.
Okay. And I have another question. If I go there, it has to be like a research stay, but in which amount? For example, if I want to go there for more part of organization. So for example, one of my ideas is I'm working in a project here for collaborative online international learning. And it would be interesting for me to work together with the university there to make it, to open up more opportunities and to maybe organize also the collaborative working between the TU in Berlin and the other university. For example, like matchmaking and coaching in online learning, so that the students in the subject of the project of the TRAJECTS field have the possibility to work together, the two universities. So it's not primarily me that is going there and researching. Well, I would like evaluate the project or the idea, but it would more be the organization of the collaboration and the online learning. Would that be possible also?
No, I think this is out of the scope of these research days, because
Okay.
they are mostly focused on the topics that Alex already showed you.
Yeah.
Energy transitions, sustainability, land management. It depends on the topics that all our partners send here. The topics.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So this
Thank
what
you.
you do is really interesting, and it would be good for us and for strengthening the network, but it's out of the scope.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Diana and Mark.
So thanks for the presentation. We would first like to ask about the reimbursement of the flights. Like, would we be in charge then to like buy the flights and then get it reimbursed, or how would that work? Because the person that with whom we would like to work with, she definitely has not the money to pay the flight like beforehand. So that was our first question that we had.
Yeah, and then the second is more related, like, does the application, maybe to go back to that soon again. So could we do the application for the person, or the person needs to do it by herself? Yeah.
Okay, so I will reply first the second question. So the second question, if the person needs help and you are there to support that person, or you can do it as long as you have all the documents and they are signed. So just follow up all the steps. That's not a problem. And regarding the reimbursement, I don't know, Natalie is here. I'm not that familiar with that part because that is mostly from the admin coordinator, but as far as I know, people will pay for the flight and then will get the reimbursement. Yes, we can check that with Max, who is the admin coordinator, and he could say if it is possible to book the flights from here, but as far as I know, it's not possible. We only give the reimbursement.
Okay.
To the person that get the grant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That will definitely be a challenge for us, I think. But okay, maybe we just need to have clarity on that before we buy any ticket.
Okay. So, and then we are also in charge of buying the flight, or do we have like also to send you like other flights for comparing the prices? That's not important. Okay.
I think
So at least if it's
it
below
is
2,000 euros,
economic class, that's the
economic
most
class.
important. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we're used to the bureaucracy of the this is why we have all these questions.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, we have some questions in the chat. Let me go through them. The emails of contacts. The contacts, you will find them in the call, but I will try to share here. Is research supposed to only cover South Africa and Colombia? No, it's also for Germany. And there are some 2 placements, I think, that are in Dakar. So you have to go through the call and see where the partners are located. But most of the placements are, of course, in Colombia, South Africa, and Germany, but that there are some others in other countries. And
there's another question on the characteristics to distinguish junior and senior researchers. So senior researchers are, I think, a minimum of 6 years of relevant experience, and for example, and like some kind of academic degree. By junior researchers are more targeted to students. If you have like any specific questions, I think it's most advisable to send like the CV so we can check if you're applicable for junior or senior research stay. Hope that's correct, Grace. And I think the other question is if the website is working everywhere in the world. It should be, I hope. If not, we have to do something.
It should be working,
Yeah.
but if you have any problem, just please let us know. Senegal, yeah. Lily, who is here, one of our hosts. There are 2 placements for Senegal, and you can apply either French or English. Is there any other question?
We've got one last question. Is it necessary to like also send a letter of recommendation from our host institution, like from the persons with whom she will be working with?
No, it's not necessary. These mostly work for other type of placements that we have that are called speculative placements.
Okay.
But not, you don't need the letter of recommendation.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
So there's another question in the chat, I'm not sure. The question is, can I apply to another institution in the same city where I live? I'm not sure about
And
that.
I can reply to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are listening me well. You can apply to an institution in another excuse me, in the same city that you live. The only condition is that will have to be a different institution from the institution that you are coming. So your host institution can be your coming or your sender institution, because you have to do a mobility, but it can be in the same city. It's not a problem.
And the other question is, how should I request a letter of acceptance from the host? Teresa, Natalie, can you say something on that question?
I'm just checking the requirements. And in the requirements, you don't need a letter of recommendation from the host institution.
Mm. So this answers your
Sorry, excuse me, sorry for the noise again. That is a requirement for the senior researchers. So you have to ask for a recommendation letter, or no, it's not a recommendation, actually, it's the acceptance letter for the people in charge of the state that you want to apply for, if you are a senior. But if you are a junior, you don't need it. And you also asked something, and if you are a PhD, so you just cover the requirements that you need for be a senior researcher. So the question about if you get less points doesn't make sense, because actually a senior researcher is a person that is doing a PhD or has a PhD and is doing a postdoc or something like that. So this is the kind of profile for a senior.
Thanks, Natalie. So yeah, to make it more clear, you have to check, for example, you want to apply for a senior research stay in TU Berlin. So you have to contact the contact person there, telling that person, I would like to apply for this research stay, and could you please, or you could have an exchange of emails or a meeting and agree if your profile match with what they're looking for. And then they already know how this letter works because they offer the placement. So that's how you get that letter.
Yes, I think I will pronounce the name wrong. Ipesile, if you have a question, go for it, or you can.
Can you apply to the same country because I'm not from the placement university. So now I'm interested in applying to the same university, to the same country that I'm in.
I think, yes, if it's not the university you're already enrolled in, or you're connecting to.
Okay.
And there's another question by Lily. If someone from Senegal could apply for the placement Dakar. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Get the Nordic. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, I think there needs to become some clarification on one question for Michelle. I just read it out and maybe Grace or Natalie can answer because I'm not sure. So if there's a junior position, it is okay. If you have a PhD, probably that's the question. So if there's a junior position, is it also okay for it to apply with like a senior or more senior background?
Yeah, I know this placement. This is from a German institution, and it was their decision. So in the end, depending on the profile of the person, they will evaluate what fits best for what they are doing in their project. I think this is mostly a hydrogen project, but I think they will have a preference for a senior research stay than a junior, but you can still apply if you are a junior, and they will decide if you are chosen or not.
Thanks. Are there any other questions? Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, I think this has been raised already, but I didn't get a clear answer. So in Uganda, I have been failing to access the website. So I'm wondering what could be done for us to be able to access it, because every time I've tried, I've not been able to get access to the website.
Could you please send me a screenshot of what you get when you try to access to our webpage, so we can check that with the developers, because it should be working all around the world. And sorry
Okay.
for that if you are having problems.
Okay. But it usually says site can't be reached. But and that's the error message it brings. I could try to send a screenshot. Let me get that.
Yeah, please, you can send it to the last email that is there for Grace Quiseno, Academic EU, and I will forward that information to our developers to check what's going on, and then I will reply to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks to you, Elvis, for letting us know.
Yes, please go ahead with your question. And yes, hold that in. If you have a question, you can raise it. If not, are there any other questions?
Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Could you speak up a bit? We can not hear you very clearly.
Then if there is no other question, or if another question pops up while checking the call, just let us know. You already have our contacts. Just remember the call closes next week, on Friday next week. So don't let all the things for the very last minute. You never know if the web page is not working. So it always happens. So yeah, if you have any other question, just send us an email and we will be happy to reply and support you.
Thank you.
Thank you.